Great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Awaken to Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And if you are new to me, new to my show, new to my channel, please do subscribe on YouTube so that you can get access to all of the current shows, all the previous shows, all the shows coming up. It is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring forward to you these wonderful speakers who are sharing their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their activations, their processes, etc., so that we can all thrive in our lives. And so, of course, today my dear friend Tamra Oviatt is back, and we are going to be talking about upgrading your psychic abilities to another level. And some of what we're going to talk about today is Tamra's Practitioner Course that makes a huge difference in people's lives. I have taken it. I'm actually a master practitioner as well. So I know the benefit of it and how well it works. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And sacred activations, which is the modality that Tamra brought through, is also called the Subconscious Metaprogramming Modality. And it is the easiest, fastest, and most potent process to rewire your brain, change your subconscious programs, clear negative core beliefs, and upgrade energy frequencies through the source God energy. We're also going to be talking about and be experiencing an activation deactivation, and what that is. It's an intelligent energy code that functions like a metaprogram or software, which changes and upgrades the belief systems, vibrations, and consciousness that don't resonate with it. And at the same time, it installs new mental programs, codes, and information into the subconscious mind, giving it a new direction and a new focus. And because subconscious metaprogramming is the most powerful way to take control of what you want to create and uncreate in your life, sacred activations has now become the easiest, fastest, and most transformational healing modality available today, with over 1,000 practitioners in more than 20 countries around the world, which is so. I think this is so amazing, and it's like what's funny. Why I'm laughing is like I just said this to Tamra before we went live, and it's like obviously I didn't read this, but it's like this is what I felt. Like it is so transformational. It is easy. It is fast. It is potent. Absolutely, right. So it's actually written there as well. So for those of you who don't know Tamra, she's been with us, of course, many times before. She is my own mentor and teacher as well. I've taken a lot of programs with Tamra, including the foundational program and the master's program and a few others, right? So Tamra is the founder of Sacred Activations, which is a subconscious metaprogramming modality that was gifted to her by Source God Energy in 2012 at Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland. And she received her very first sacred geometry activation from Lord Metatron, along with the sacred golden seals that allow her to give activations on others, right? And she has recently won the only award as Best Alternative Healer and has been featured on Om Times Magazine and Kindred Spirit Magazine covers. Also, her own show has been picked up by iHeartRadio. And we're going to talk to Tamra a little bit about her experience as well, working with energy healing, working with the collective earth grids and ley lines of the planet, and more. So I'm so glad that you're all here with us. I'm so glad that Tamra is back with us, and we're going to be discussing her powerful transformative healing modality called sacred activations, etc. Okay, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, and I'm so glad you're here joining us. Welcome back, Tamra. So glad you're here.
Hi, honey. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be with you, and everybody that's here. Thank you so much for joining us from all over the world and having some time with us. I promise I'll be doing some activations for you guys today and help you change some major things in your life. So yay.
Yay, right. And like I was saying before we went live, that I have found, like, I did this in 2015, right? I think that's when I first took sacred activations, and I was looking for something at that time, Tamra, that was going to be easy and quick and that I could do online, because I didn't really like to do in-person stuff. So I really liked online stuff. And I've been using it since then. It is so powerful, and it is like gets more and more powerful each time you use it, right? Or each time somebody receives the deactivations, it's more powerful for them as well. So this is one program modality that I do highly recommend, because it just happens so fast. And we were talking about how sometimes things are not as quick for you as you would like, but this program makes changes really quickly. So we're going to talk about all of that and more, of course. Are we going to take some live caller questions, Tamra?
We can.
We'll just take a few, just in, for because something that helps to know what activations we need. But you normally already know what activations
Just
you're going to
tuning
run.
into the audience, I'll know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited about that too, because you're going to be able to perceive, most of you will able to perceive the energies and feel the energies like I do, and start to clear stuff, right? And start to change stuff right here on the call, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, and you
So
don't even need to feel it for it to be working, because sometimes people don't feel it at first.
yeah,
But it still
absolutely.
works. I had this one lady, she's all, I didn't feel anything. Sacred activations didn't do anything to me. And this was like 30 days later, right? And I said, oh, okay, no problem. And then she started telling me all the things that changed in her life. I'm
Yeah.
doing this and this and this and this and this. I went, oh, okay.
Exactly. So sometimes you might not recognize, that, but
Yeah.
then when you start to look at your life and see what changes are happening, then you can say, "Oh, yes, maybe it definitely did do something," right? So,
Yeah.
um, so I
Yeah.
always tell my clients to look for the change, right? Don't look for what's the same, but look for what's different in your life, because things are always changing, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We do have a measure your success booklet where you rate where you are now, and then you look at it 3 months later, and then you rate yourself again, and then look at both of them and you go, wow, I did change a lot. Because sometimes you're just changing automatically and all these opportunities start coming to you and you're feeling more calm and relaxed. And you don't realize why,
mhm.
and that's okay too. Because to me, that's an ego thing that I have to say, hey, this was sacred activations. And sometimes I want to say that, but really it's like, does it really matter if they know where it came from? What matters is they changed. That's
Yeah.
what matters. And I don't know, it's sacred activations.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
Yeah.
what matters is the change and transformation, and you being willing to receive the change, right? Being willing to see, accept the change in your life, and then continue going, right? Continue moving forward in your life. So Tamara, really quickly, because it's been a few years since you've been with us, and so there may be some new people who have not heard of you, or don't know your story. Can you just share a little bit about your I guess, how these sacred activations came to you and what that experience was like?
Yeah, no problem. I'm going to start back in 1999. And the reason I'm going to start there is because I didn't believe in energy work. I didn't believe in energy. Only Jesus could heal. Um, I didn't believe in past lives. I didn't believe in spirit guides because I didn't know. I was raised in a very Christian household, and I kept hearing and I had a very successful career. I was a divorced mom. I bought a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, had a nanny. The nanny had a car. I was doing very, very well. But I kept hearing, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be a healer. And I heard it over and over and over again. So I finally said, okay, God, show me what to do. And then I was reading one of these spiritual magazines, and this guy was advertising these readings, these charts, do your numerology or whatever. I don't remember what it was. So I made an appointment with him. I did numerology, and he told me he did hypnosis. And I said, oh, I want a session. So I drove down to Marina Del Rey, and I had a session with this guy, and he lived in India for like 20 years. So his style of hypnosis was so different than anything I'd ever experienced. And well, I'd never experienced anything at that point, but still anything today. And I teach I offer a script and a hypnosis training I do. But so he brought me into hypnosis, and then I was like riding a dolphin and doing all these different things. I went back and did it. So then he says he'll teach me how to do it. So I went back and I started learning from him. And then, sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place. So I went back and I was learning from him. I went into hypnosis again, and this bird showed up. And he says, I'm a bird, but I'm not a bird at all. And he says, come with me. And he grabbed my arm and we flew up over the world. Right. And we sat on this cloud and we're looking down at the world. And he says, do you see that? It's just a game. That's all it is. It's just a game, Tamra. Are you a winner or are you a loser? And I thought, well, let me see. I win at Scrabble. I love winning at Scrabble, but I'm dyslexic and I'm horrible at spelling. But I could win at Scrabble. So yeah, I like to win. So that was one of the experiences with him. And then I gave my friend the script, and I had her, because I heard we had spirit guides. So I gave her the script and had her hypnotize me. And then I met my spirit guide, Chum. So this was really the journey that started me on this. So I started teaching angel classes, how to talk to your angels. And so this journey started all the way back in 1999. And then I started doing all these different modalities. And then I took more hypnosis classes. I took NLP classes. I took theta healing classes. I was a master teacher certificate of science with them. I was just doing everything. I took Akashic Records classes. And I was back in the workforce because I couldn't figure out how to make money. I had tried being a healer on my own and I was really broke. So I went back into the workforce, had a really good job. In 2009, quit that job and I was broke. And in 2011, I started talking to this guy online and on Facebook. And then we started going on Skype and talking. And he said he wanted to marry me. We talked for like 6 months, right? He was an attorney in England and he wanted to marry me. He wanted me to come over, blah, 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 blah. So I went, okay, well, maybe I'm supposed to start my life there because I could barely get anything going, right? I was on food stamps to feed my kids. So I flew over to England and I had a 3-week trip planned. And when I was with him, I was like, there's no way I'm marrying this guy. So one morning I got up and I went for a walk, and I love old graveyards. And in England, they have the most beautiful graveyards. So I was walking through this graveyard and I said, what the hell am I doing here? I got $200 in my account. I have no credit card. What am I doing here? And I heard my answer I got was go to the Roslyn Chapel, Tamra. So I went back to his house and I said, I was told to go to the Roslyn Chapel. And he was on the phone with a friend of his, Daz. Don't worry, this story's going to be over in a minute. And so, so he was on the phone with his friend Daz, and I told him what I heard. And Daz says, oh, Tamra, the Roslyn Chapel's built on the sundial dial. It's a sacred site. Definitely go. So I booked a B&B and a train for the next day. And then I heard to call this client, Vera, that I worked with that lived in Scotland. I'd worked with her on Skype, and I met her through an interview from this guy, Vincent, that interviewed me at one time, and have her meet you there. So I said, okay. So I went to the Roslyn Chapel. We walked around. She met me there. We sat in the pew. And I'm sorry, I got sidetracked by reading that stuff. That's not true. But anyways, we'll get into that later. So sat in the pew and I said, okay, God, I'm here. And I heard go into the Akashic Records. So I used to do readings in the Akashic Records. I was a massive master Akashic Records practitioner. And I went in there and there was a being standing there. I'd never seen anybody in the Akashic Records. I just got information for people. And so I saw this being. I'm all, who are you and what do you want? And he said he was Lord Metatron and he was there to assist me. And so I said, okay. And then this energy started going like this to the top of our heads. And it was like, whoa. And then it was like followed up by these golden seals, and they're like golden coins, and they were just coming in and stacking up. And this lasted for like 15 minutes. And when it was done, I heard to ground myself. And so we connected into Mother Earth, and we were really dizzy. We went to lunch, and it was like, holy cow. And so she's driving me back to my bus stop. And on the way to my bus stop, I heard, you're now crystalline, give these to others. So when I got back to my B&B, I was calling my friends when they woke up, because I was in Scotland and I lived in California. Guess what happened? Do you want this? Everybody's all, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm giving everybody this activation. Don't ask me how. I didn't know. I was just doing what I was told to do. So then I went back to his house, and it was time to leave his house, but I knew it wasn't time to go home. I just really felt it wasn't time to go home. So I messaged this guy, and Vincent from London, that had interviewed me. And I said, I need a cheap place to stay. Do you know anybody? And he says, my girlfriend and I just moved into a flat in London. We have an extra room for a little while. Come on. So he charged me like 50 pounds a week. And so every time I needed money, somebody would book a session with me. So I was able to pay my way. And while I was there, I heard to go to Stonehenge. I didn't know what Stonehenge was. I could care less about some stones in the middle of a field. So, but I kept being told to go. So I went. I took this bus, and I went and I walked around the stones. I was freezing to death. And remember, I'm a California girl. I was frozen. And so I got a cup of coffee or hot chocolate or something. I sat on the bench by the stones. I said, okay, I'm here. I'd already walked around it and went, whatever. And then Lord Metatron came to me again. And then this energy started coming in. And in my head, I was screaming to stop. Stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. And he came to me again. He kissed me on the forehead. He said, it's okay, Tamra, let it continue. So I did. And oh my God. And then I went back to my friend Vincent's house. And a couple days later, I got another activation. And I went up again. And this time there was two beings standing there. And the other being, I said, well, who are you and what do you want? And he said he was Moses and he was there to help me. So I went, okay. I said, Moses, who? I didn't know I could talk to Moses. And I certainly didn't know who in the heck Lord Metatron was. I didn't know until like 3 or 4 months later, I heard to Google Lord Metatron, and I went, holy cow, I've been talking to him. And I wouldn't have felt worthy to talk to him. So I had these 3 activations, and then that guy that I came over to marry, right? I was talking to his friend Daz, who told me to go to the Roslyn Chapel. And I was talking to him, and I said, I got these activations. Do you want them? He says, sure. So I gave him the 3 activations, which used to take about a half hour to get the 3 activations at least. And while I was doing, I heard, tell him he's going to be sensitive, but I still wasn't trusting the messages I was receiving. So I didn't say anything to him. Well, that night, he was a writer and an artist. He took all of his artwork, all of his writings, and his computer, put it in his yard, and did a bonfire. Burnt everything up, broke up with his girlfriend of 9 years, and moved into a Buddhist colony. And I was talking to David, that guy I was supposed to, whatever. And so I was talking to him, and he told me what happened. I went, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do, that poor guy? I felt responsible. So I talked to him about 30 days later, and he told me his life had never been better. His writing was clearer, his art was better, and he was so happy. And I went, oh my God. I mean, I was just blown away. So, and then I ended up in Spain. I mean, all these things just opened up for me. This guy emailed me, he says, I want a session. And I was talking to him, and he was in London, and I'd met him. I met him and his wife in California. So he told me he was going to Spain. He had this house on the mountaintop. Now, this is 2012, before the world was going to end in December, right? So they had this house on a mountaintop with a stream, with solar, and all the water was fresh from a stream. They had solar. It was totally off the grid. So I went with him there after I heard to ask if I could go, and he asked his wife, and she said yes. So I went with him there, and then they let me stay with them in Swindon, England, and then I got to go to Avebury, and oh my God, I fell in love with Avebury. It's heart chakra of the world. And then they took me to Glastonbury, and I fell in love with Glastonbury. That's where I am now. And well, before I was married, I would spend 6 months a year here most years. It's the heart chakra of the world, and it's so healing and amazing. But at the time, I was frozen. So I knew somebody in Italy. So I looked on eBay and found this apartment on the sea in Italy for like 800 euros a month. So my friend went and checked it out for me, and he says, yeah, it's good to go. So I went and stayed there for 3 months. And then my son joined me there. So this is the start of sacred activation. So for 8 months, I stayed in Europe, 8 months. And all these different masters and teachers were coming in and teaching me, even aliens. And it was quite the journey and blew me away. And if I didn't stay in England, I wouldn't have gotten everything I got. You know what I mean? Because I would have been so busy at home surviving. And that's the start of sacred activations. My life has never been better. For 9 years, I pretty much traveled. For the last 2, I sold off everything. I used to maintain a household. I stopped because my kids were grown. I didn't need to do that anymore. And until I met up with my husband, who was an ex-boyfriend from 25 years before, in Florida, and we used to date in California. And within 6 months, when the borders opened again, we moved to Mexico. And we just paid off our house. And we just got back from Japan. I started working with this largest company in Japan for spirituality about 4 years ago. And we just got back from Japan 10 days before I got here. So I'm telling you all this because I went from food stamps, you guys, to traveling, to meeting up with really the love of my life. I was so heartbroken when I broke up with him. I blew it up because I didn't feel I deserved love. You know what I mean? And now we're very happily married and live on the beach of Mexico. I mean, come on. And I'm in Glastonbury. So, okay, I'll stop talking, Laura.
So basically, what you're saying is change is possible, transformation is possible. You don't have to be stuck in any situation that you're in, right? Um, if you're willing to receive, right, and you're willing to receive the change, and also like you were all, it seems to me, anyways, you were very intuitive, and you were being guided, and you followed the guidance, and you trusted the guidance, even though you didn't know what was happening, right?
I didn't have a choice. I really was in a position where I didn't have a choice. My house was being foreclosed on because I couldn't get it refinanced.
Mhm.
I did not have a choice. I was pushed. So if you are being pushed, jump. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes that's the best thing to do. I was pissed off. I was angry that I was losing my house. I love my house. And I couldn't get it refinanced because it was a prefab home, but I owned the land, and I had 28 oak trees on my land
Wow.
with mountains behind my house in Westlake, California. But the house was too old to get financing. And I couldn't think to just put another frickin' house on it. You know what I mean? My consciousness wasn't there. So I lost my house. And it happened while I was in England, and I stayed so long because I was homeless. I was homeless. I didn't have a place to live. My youngest son was finishing high school, so he moved in with my sister, and which is like his second mom. So he finished up school, and then when he was done, he came over and joined me in Italy. But that's how sacred activations began. And I got pushed. I really did, and don't get pushed to do something, just go. You know what I mean? Because the net will appear. When I went over to England, I only had $200 and no credit cards. And every time I needed money for food, for rent, a flight, I always had enough. But I only had enough. I didn't have excess. At the end, I did have some excess, and we actually took a cruise home. I was so traumatized by flying that long flight in coach. It was horrifying. So, and I kept delaying my flight, I was only supposed to be there 3 weeks. And then I added another 3 weeks, and I had another 3 weeks, and I was paying all these fees for it. And the same thing with my son. So I just let his round trip expire. And we ended up getting a cruise ship home for 2 weeks on a cruise for $1,000 because they were repositioning the boat. And I don't really drink, so he had some soda costs, and that was it. I mean, we did 2 weeks maybe for $1,200.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so that was really amazing. But sacred activations changes you. Sometimes can be really harsh. Sometimes it can knock you out. I remember when I got the first 3 activations, I was told it would take about 3 weeks to integrate. I'm this person. I want it now. So I said, I don't want to wait 3 weeks. I'm over this. I want it, and I want it now. I slept for 3 days. That was on a Friday. I got up on Monday. No joke. So these are life transforming. I've seen people get off walkers their next day. I've seen people going for surgeries. They can't find anything. I've seen people expand their businesses, create new businesses, find love, reconnect with fathers, mothers, children. It helps you in all ways of your life. This isn't limited to one area of your life. This is about you and your life, really. And this is about the whole world. And then when you change, everyone around you starts changing. And the way you see the world changes. It does. It totally, totally changes. And I mean, because we're creating heaven on earth. And really, that's how I live about 98% of my life. I still have stuff. I'm not perfect. But God, am I better? I am so much better than I used to be. And I keep getting better and better and better. Every year, I'm better. Every year, my life is better, and I'm happier and calmer and everything.
And that's what it's about, right? We're not aiming for perfection in this moment, but we are aiming to get better and better all the time for our lives to change for the better. And sometimes, is it possible, Tamara, that sometimes we don't know what the better doesn't always feel good in the moment, when we're in transition, but
Oh, yeah.
afterwards, it's definitely better, right?
Yeah. Sometimes, well, like instance, my friend Daz, he burnt everything he owned and moved. I mean, that's not going to happen to 99.9% of people. You know what I mean? But he needed that transformation. I know people that have thrown up all weekend long or have stayed in bed for days. But it's their body, it's their energy that's healing, and it's their detox that's happening. So sacred activations can't do that to you. but it can knock you out. It can. I'm not going to tell you it can't. It seems easier now than it used to be, the transformation, but you can sleep after doing a bunch of activations. You can. And some people can't sleep after activations because of the energy. And then a couple of days later, they need to rest. But that's really just your body detoxing. And some people, like I said at the beginning of the call, this one lady, it was at the very beginning of sacred activations. I gave her the first 3. She said she didn't notice anything. Sacred activations didn't do anything for her. And then she was telling me how much her life had changed. So sometimes you don't feel anything, but all these opportunities and things just start happening for you. So I don't know how you're going to react. Why do I tell you it could knock you out and knock you sideways? Because it can. But trust me, it'll clear and you'll feel better than you ever have. And I warn you about that because I don't want you to listen to some activations and then get really emotional and pissed off or angry or all those different things. And then you go, I don't want to listen to this again because look what it did to me. It's your stuff that's coming up and clearing. It's not sacred activation. Sacred activations is super high frequency and it's going to help you shift. And a lot of these activations are going to take about 3 weeks to integrate and to shift you. You continue to shift. It's metaprogramming in the human biocomputer, which means it's intelligent. It's intelligent. It knows what to do and what to clear. And it keeps rewriting your subconscious programming. It continues working with you. It doesn't stop. It's not something you have to do for 21 days in a row. As a matter of fact, I'd tell you not to. I'd tell you to wait. When I do private sessions, I make them wait 3 weeks to a month in between their sessions. I was just talking to a girl in China yesterday. She's telling me how much her life had changed. And I hadn't talked to her in about 6 months. And then now she was ready for another session because it keeps working on you and keeps working on you. And like Leonard said, Leonard is one of my master practitioners. Beat your pillow, not yourself or anyone else in your life. Make sure you're very conscious about you because this can bring your stuff up. So don't take it out on anybody around you. I remember this mother-daughter that they couldn't do activations on the same day because they would be at each other's throats because all their stuff's coming up, right? So they would take turns doing them, but you know, they're doing fantastic now.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It's like, when our stuff is coming up, it's important for us to be aware and in the moment as best as we can so that we can, start to see what's coming up and recognize it, but don't get caught up in the story of it, right? And so a lot of times what happens is that we get caught up in the story of it and the drama of it, and we hook into it instead of just allowing it to come up and allowing it to release, right? And but it takes time, and it is our body and our energy system integrating the new higher frequencies, right? And for me, what I like to think of it as that the sacred activations are holding space for us as we shift and as we change and transform, as we release those old programs that have been limiting us in the past, right?
Yeah, and you don't need to know what the bottom belief is or have the experience or realize what it is or even see what it is. It's not necessary for it to shift. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about sacred activations. And as a practitioner, you don't need to see your client's stuff for it to shift because some people have some things that are so buried and so deep and they're so feel guilty or ashamed or embarrassed over that they will not dare tell another person about it. And with sacred activations, you don't have to know. You don't have to tell anybody. You just focus on it and it clears. That I absolutely love that about sacred activations. And you guys, I didn't come up with this. This isn't a system I created. all of this was given to me by, I call it source energy or universal energy or God energy, because that's what it is. And I had many master teachers coming in, many, but this energy isn't from them. They're my teachers giving me information and teaching me. And about 95% of the activations are all channeled. They're all given to me. And a lot of them were given to me on the spot while I'm doing webinars or while I'm doing private sessions and stuff like that, or sometimes while I'm in the swimming pool or, you know, water conducts or sitting on the toilet. It's like, oh, that's a good one. And a lot of
Exactly.
them I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not some guru. You know what I mean? I am not your guru, is one of the activations. I'm like you. I am. And I am so blessed to be able to offer this to help you and to
Yes,
help your
and
family.
we are so grateful because, like I said before, it is such a powerful modality for change and transformation. You know,
Yeah.
if everybody says, people, I'm not going to like this, what I'm going to say now, but everybody says they want change. Everybody says they want transformation, but they don't. They want everything to stay the same and have one little thing change or have one big thing change, but everything stay the same. It's like, you know, for me, I've learned, you know, in my life that when change happens, it's my whole life gets you know, turned upside down, but it gets leveled in a way that needs to happen, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, it's like, yes, I fight it, you know, I hold on and everything, but then when I finally release and I go, it's like, all right, bring it. Then the change that happens is, you know, it's magical. You know, it can, and that's what it can be when you start to let go and you start to trust in the divine, in source, in your path, your journey, trusting yourself. And yeah, we all make mistakes, but it's
Of
like
course.
even those mistakes are teaching us about ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, really, what are mistakes? You know, they're all about learning. And don't beat yourself up for anything you've done. It's all about learning. You know,
Yeah,
it's like having a 6-month-old or a year-old child. They knock something over and it breaks. Are you going to yell at them and be angry at them and hate them? Of course not. Who do you think we are? We are children. We are babies. We are learning. We are growing. That's who we are. So, you know, and think about that too when you're judging someone else. They're doing
yeah.
the best they know how.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Now, Tamara, somebody had posted in the chat, I forget who it was or where it was a while ago, about you don't have to believe in it for it to work, right? So,
No.
like, you don't have to believe in the sacred activations for it to work. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because a lot of times
Yeah,
people
these
get
aren't
stuck with
guided
that.
meditations. This is a vibrational energy that comes from source energy. And just by listening, and when I'm running activations, again, this isn't a guided meditation. I'm quiet. I'm connected to give you your own process. You don't have to hear anything, you don't have to see anything, and you don't have to feel anything. You could just sit there quietly. That's all you have to do. And it starts shifting you. You don't have to know about sacred geometry. I didn't know about sacred geometry when I received these. My friend Vincent in London, I told him what I was seeing in people's energy field, and he handed me the book, Mizadek, The Flower of Life. And I opened it up and I saw the tree of life and I went, oh my God, I'm doing this. So I learned about what I was doing after I was already doing. I learned that this changes your subconscious belief systems after doing it. I just saw people changing. I didn't really know what subconscious belief systems were, but 95% of our life is ran by our subconscious programming. And most of that programming happened before you were 7 years old. Now it's still happening, you know, and I was watching the show the other night of, it's on Netflix, Dancing for the Devil. And these people were in this church, they're looking for family, they're looking for love, and this pastor, he's manipulating them. And he started this management company, and he takes about 70% of their income. He's telling them they have to have sex with him to be close to God because he's the man of God. And you hear him in church programming them. If you leave, you're going to go to hell, you're going to suffer. And he's just programming them, programming them, programming them. That's what happens to us in society, right? Well, this deprograms all of that. And we're so often told things that really the opposite is true. Seriously. And I'm still seeing this unfold. So no, you don't have to believe. No, you don't have to understand. It's not necessary. Because if it was, I probably still wouldn't be doing this. I've been learning about what I've been doing as I go along. You know, the metaprogramming in the human biocomputer, I saw this on a book cover by this doctor. I don't remember his name. And he helped people through LSD. He used LSD and he called it metaprogramming in the human biocomputer. And I Googled it and I went, oh my God, this is what Sacred Activations does. So I bought his books, but I couldn't really read them. They didn't really resonate with me, but the information of what Sacred Activations does. Because I wanted more an explanation, because Source gave me the name Sacred Activations. I said, what do I call this? And I heard Sacred Activations. So I tried to buy the name Sacred Activation. I said, it's taken. And they said Sacred Activations. So I typed it into Google. I went, oh my God. So I bought the name. I did not name this. I did not come up with this stuff. This isn't me. This is source energy. And I'm here in service. And when I help you shift your life, the whole world around you starts shifting. It does. So that's what this is all about.
And we all know now, like, this, we've been talking about this for years now, about our subconscious beliefs, and if we want to change our life, we have to change those subconscious beliefs. And sometimes we have conflicting beliefs that we don't even realize that we have, right?
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
and right,
We don't even
and
know we
so
have
that's
them.
why things don't change.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and you could want to change and want to change and want to change, but until you change those subconscious belief systems, not much is going to change, or it's going to change a little, and then you're going to sabotage the change. I couldn't have a relationship. There is no way I could, thank you, Leonard, could be in a relationship with my husband until I did that healing. I mean, because I blew that relationship up. And when I first dated him, we had so much fun. We were having an absolute blast. I didn't know how to handle it, and I blew it up. I went on a date with another guy in front of him. How messed up is that? I mean, seriously, I did that. So 24 years later, we got together and I was ready.
Late than never. It's all good, right? And that's the
Yeah.
change, that's the healing, that's the transformation, right?
Yeah.
And that's what life is about. Life is about change. I was
Yeah.
just watching something earlier this morning, actually, and it's an Indian thing, so I'm not going to go into it, but it was about when you are willing to accept change and willing to accept the flow of life, things become easier, you become happier, things start to be in flow, right? And that happens with the transformation, that happens with the change, this happens with not resisting the change, right? And going with the flow the best you can, and just accepting this is what it is. Okay, cool, let's change it now, right? And we change it by, these activations start to help us to make that change within, right? It doesn't happen at the conscious level, we all know that, right? It
No.
has to happen at the subconscious, unconscious level, deeper.
No.
And how it happens doesn't matter, like we talked about before, it doesn't matter how it happens, that it happens, that the change happens is what matters.
Yeah. And don't worry about it if it's buried deep. It'll come up and it'll clear. Don't worry about it. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay, go ahead.
oh, I was going to talk about the practitioner training.
Go ahead.
So
Yeah.
you go ahead. You're the hostess with the mostest. I will follow your lead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, okay, we can take a few quick questions. Then we'll talk about the practitioner course, and of course, if anybody has questions about that, for sure. And then, of course, we're going to do some activation. Somebody asked if
Yes.
she missed them. No, you did not miss them
No, you
yet.
did not. And
We're gonna do some. Not to worry.
yeah, we'll do them at
So,
the end, because once I do the activations, you might not hear me.
yeah, you might want to just, zone out, which is understandable. And even with the questions, let's try and make it as general as possible so that they can help everyone, and also they might inform what the activations are going to be as well, right? So we're just going to take a few quick questions. Linda, go ahead. You want to unmute yourself?
Sure. Hi, Tamara.
Hi, Linda.
I guess I would like to know what is the easiest way to a higher consciousness where we stay up there.
Well, you are on planet Earth, which is 3D. All right.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
live a lot of my life in the 5D, 6D, 7D, but I'm still on planet Earth in 3D. So I'm always flowing in and out. Your life is here on planet Earth. So when you change your vibration, that's great, but you're still here on planet Earth because you're having a human experience. You don't want to be up there all the time. You're here to experience and to live.
Okay.
But with clearing out your subconscious programming, you are going into a higher and higher vibration all the time, where you're living like this. You know what I mean? You're
Yes.
operating here and you're in flow and you're connected. So
I have to tell you that I don't usually say this too much, but I am a poet, and I always bring in Avalon, Atlantis, and all that other stuff. And I think it's so wonderful. When you said you went to Glastonbury and Avonbury and all the other places, I'm going, oh my gosh, some places I've always wanted to go. So thank you.
It's so beautiful. It really is.
Stonehenge. Can you get inside of Stonehenge right now?
I am going inside of Stonehenge on the 14th.
Oh, what a blessing you got.
I've been there. It opened up. It was sold out for months, and there was no way we were going to get a go. And my friend Wes is all, no, Wes, it's sold out. I've been looking. It's all sold out. And then he goes, I'm going to look. And somebody must have canceled some event, because on the 14th, there was like 10 spots open. And I went, oh my God. So we bought 3 of them right there. The next day, rest of them were gone.
Wow.
So, and this happened last year too. So you've got to plan ahead to get the.
Have you been to Egypt? Have you been to?
Yes.
Have you been in the King's Chamber?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
that's okay.
You.
The King's Chamber didn't really do anything for me. It was the Sphinx.
Really?
The energy. Yeah.
The Sphinx? Okay.
The Sphinx. Cool. I'm standing in the Sphinx and I was getting this download. Yeah, I got an image. We should share them here, of this like rainbow across my legs in Egypt. Like, wow.
Oh, that is so cool.
And that was when we visited the Sphinx. Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me
You're
talk.
welcome, honey.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, thank you. All right, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
If you want to unmute.
Hi, Tamra. Hi, Alara, and everyone.
Hi.
So, hi. Just wanted to share an experience. Last week when you were scheduled to come on, I was so excited for the show. And Alara had posted your podcast that I listened to with 3 activations. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting. I loved it. So I went to your website and I signed up on your newsletter, and I received 6 more of the activations. And wow, I just want to tell you that since then, I've had like heightened intuition and just the most vivid dreams that I can now remember. I go to sleep asking questions on how to resolve things, and I can remember these dreams just so vividly. I also wanted to ask you, so I had got these really sharp pains in the center of my head. I can only think that the activations were opening maybe the third eye or pineal gland. Do you think that's what I was experiencing with the head pains?
Yeah,
In the
definitely.
center?
Yeah. Yeah, my head used to hurt all the time, and we're going to run polar opposites today, so you guys all might have headaches.
Okay, awesome. So
Yeah.
yes, I just wanted to share that. It really heightened my intuition and insights and just the most vivid dreams. Is that
Oh,
pretty normal after
yeah.
receiving the activations?
Yeah. Congratulations, Cindy.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. It's been
Yeah.
Great,
Thank
quite
Cindy.
interesting.
Thank you for sharing, sweetheart. I love hearing stories like this. Absolutely love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you,
Many
Cindy.
blessings.
Awesome. All right, we're going to get Catherine.
Hi.
Okay.
Can you
Hi,
hear me?
Catherine.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi. I am so excited to be here. I got pushed off the cliff. Okay. I was one of the people that was resisting and resisting. My life was spiraling down. And that's how I got to Panama. I quit my job. I sold everything. I took 2 suitcases and a duffel bag and came to Panama. And that started my spiritual awakening. I've always been a spiritual seeker, and I've always been trying to get fixed. And I found Band-Aids, but nothing stuck. So thank you for answering about not believing in the modalities isn't true. Okay, because that's what I've heard, because so many things didn't work for me. Now I'm finding the timing is right. And so I'm finding more and more mentors, healers, whatever, that I need. So now I'm starting a business. I'm trying to start a spiritual business, and it's just, it's trickling. But I feel like I want to strengthen my clairs. I'm intuitive. I want to strengthen those to help my business. And I just know there's something I'm supposed to be getting a download of some sort. And so when I saw Alara's post, and I haven't been on the show in a long time, so I'm sorry about that, but I just am so excited because I'm getting goosebumps telling you right now, because I think that this might be what I need to help take me to that next level so that I can help people. I'm targeting women that have had abuse and trauma in their life, which is me. So I want to get out of victimhood. I am finding, I did a lot of work with the victimhood, but I am finding that's coming back up. So I love that this works on the subconscious, because that's where I'm getting triggered. Fears coming up, and I don't know why. So I'm excited.
Because you're ready to let it go. So congratulations.
I am. So thank you. Thank you. And and I did the 3 activations last night before bed. So is it okay to do the activations with you again? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
So, thank you, Catherine.
Congratulations on selling everything and moving to Panama. Good job.
Best thing I ever did. My life has changed. And I want to get over to Glastonbury and that part of town. So
it's
you might
beautiful.
see me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Kathy, you had a question about raising your vibration frequency, I think.
Yes, all those ladies were wonderful, because their questions were questions that I had, and I thought, ooh, but because I've had stuff, I have a lot of fear, and I don't know why. And it when it does come to the surface, it's like, okay, go away or let it go. I'm going to give it to my angels, give it to my guides. And some things that have been coming up is like something that I really didn't know about, and I've had to let go of it. But I didn't realize that, like you said, you would feel so bad, because I have felt really sick. But I've been told too that that I need to raise my frequency. So how do you know if you're raising your frequency? How do I know where I am at this point? I get hits periodically, and I can I feel changes, but can you tell? Can you tell if your frequency's
Honey, just by
raising?
clearing out your subconscious mind, your frequency just starts going up.
So
You
as all
can't-
this stuff is clearing out, my frequency is going up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I really don't have any more to say. Those first three ladies asked all the questions and I got all
Okay,
the
good.
answers.
Perfect.
So
Awesome.
Perfect.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
I can't wait to your activation.
Thank you, honey.
Awesome. Thank you. All right,
You're welcome.
Sulis and Gail, and then we're going to talk about other stuff. Okay, so Sulis, go ahead. You're muted. You just have to unmute. You're still muted.
Solus, you're muted, honey. We can't hear you.
There
Oh,
you go.
oh,
There
sorry.
we
I
go.
was just talking, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, not sure what I need to ask, but I'm interested in knowing the messages. Like, I have the urge to help others, but I'm always, like thinking, but how can I help? And is this my soul mission also to assist my family, because I see so many people that needs healing, or is it only my imagination? This is really like sometimes making me sad, you know?
Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
You need to do the practitioner training. It'll help you, it'll help your family, and you can make a business out of it. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
Try the
good, Sulis?
activations, wait a couple days, and then decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
I'm
Sulis.
open. Thank you so
Good.
much.
You're welcome. What part of Germany do you live in?
Northwest, and yeah.
Okay.
My families are all in Indonesia, so but they are in my heart, so.
Yeah, of course.
And one of my sister is actually having pain right now.
Sorry, honey. Sending you and your sister lots of love.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So stay on the call, Sulis, and receive the activations, and just know that this is also something that you can do. And if you want to be helping people, including your family, loved ones, everyone, and others, this is definitely the way to go. I have found this modality to be quite transformational, but very easy to do, right? And yeah, okay. So sending you love, holding
Thank you
you
so
in our
much.
hearts,
Thank you.
okay? And
Many
your sister.
blessings to you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sulis. All right, we're going to go to Gail. Hi, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Holly, Tamra, how are you doing?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
Good, good. My question, well, actually, previous questions were answered, so mine is just about just stepping into my power, and that's it.
Just keep
Yeah.
working on yourself. The more powerful you get.
So even, the idea of stepping into my power, there's a subconscious belief that you're not in your power, which is false, right? So it's about,
Because
we
of
are
the,
so powerful.
sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off. No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying that I'm saying I'm stepping into it, but because for many years I've avoided it.
Oh, good.
I've told
Yeah.
you before that I'm most of the time I help. I put people before me. I step back,
Yeah.
even to the point where I'm sacrificing myself. And that's
There's
also because of
activations for that.
empathic, that empathic thing. And so I'm stepping because it's like knock, 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 knock. My team
Awesome.
is knock, 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 knock constantly. Come on, Gail. What do you want us to do? We're here to help you. So,
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Listen.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you, Gail.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you,
Thank
sweetheart.
you. You too. All right, we're going to
I'm
talk
a little
about. Go
embarrassed to
ahead.
say this, but I have to go to the potty really quick.
Okay, go ahead. So I'm going
I'm
to start.
sorry. I drank a bunch of water and I can't focus anymore. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. If anybody else needs a break,
Yeah,
as
let's
well,
take 3 minutes.
3 minutes. We're gonna take a 3-minute break, which is like so I'll just talk because we can't have silence on the air, right? So I'll just do some answering and just some talking about nothing because I don't know, like we were talking about change, right? And so I didn't mention this on the call yesterday. Sarah asked really quickly a little bit yesterday as if I had mentioned anything, and it's like, nope, I did not mention anything about myself. But I am going through a major transition at the moment, a massive change. So that's why I took a couple of days off this week because I needed it. And so, this is about honoring yourself, right? Loving yourself, doing what's right for you even though sometimes change is scary and nobody knows exactly, like what's going to happen next, right? So that unknown. But again, always it comes down to trusting, right? Trusting yourself, trusting source, right? Trusting the journey and knowing that you're always held, knowing that you're always supported and cared for. So I'm very fortunate that I have a really wonderful support system, supportive family and friends, colleagues, my community obviously as well. So I'm very fortunate and I'm very grateful for that, right? But of course, sometimes we do have to do the internal journey on our own, right? And that's where having activation, having healing, having processes can help us just to uh, help, help us get to that next part with more ease, right? As long as we're willing to, take that step into change, into transformation, into what's next, what's next for my higher purpose, etc. Right? And what is my soul, what is my higher self guiding me towards next, and taking that step even though as scary as it may seem, and sometimes we feel totally alone, but we never are. And that's what I think we forget. Like we are never alone. We always have support. Physical support, absolutely I have. And of course the support from my guides and my team and source and God, etc. Right. So just always recognizing that even when you're going through change and transition, you're never alone. You're always supported, you're always guided, you're always loved, and you're held in I always like to think of it as like being held in God's hands, right? So I remember in the past when I had challenging situations, I used to love that poem Footprints, right? Where like you're walking along the beach and there's two sets of footprints and then suddenly there's only one and you ask God, it's like, oh my God, where were you then when I was all alone? And that's when God says that's when I was carrying you. That always brings me to tears. But so even though when we feel alone, we're not, right? We're always supported, we're always taken care of. So just know that, even if you are going through a challenging time, I'm here, the community is here. You're not alone. And you just follow your heart, follow your guidance, follow your intuition, do what's right for you. Okay. So sending you all my love because I know sometimes it can be difficult. So that was my little way of, spending 3 minutes while to go to the bathroom.
Thank
All
you.
right. She's back. Awesome.
All righty.
And everybody knows I'm a very private person, so I don't like to share too much, but
yeah,
just know that I'm always here for you guys. Okay.
Congratulations and healthy boundaries, and you're doing that. So I'm really proud of you, actually.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Not going into it, but
exactly.
seriously.
All right.
So I'm going to go into what's the offer.
I'm going to share my screen in 1 second. Let me just go to the proper page. Okay. I'm going to share my screen.
This is something that's never been offered before.
1 second. Yes. I'm going to go ahead. Keep talking. Really get this computer going properly.
I am doing a practitioner training here in Glastonbury and online on the 22nd and 23rd of this month, we are offering in the package the first level practitioner training. I've never done this before. And I also have a year membership to 200 activations, which will help you in every area of your life. It's for your psychic abilities. It's for healing family traumas, for relationships, for money, for psychic. Every single area of your life, there's activations in there to help you. This is a $3,000 value. Now, seriously, if I was to say these, and that's only putting the activations at $10 each. The value of these activations are way beyond that. I mean, this is easily a $10,000 value. No joke. We've never had the practitioner training price so low. We have it for $500 right now. This is not going to last. This is the first time we're offering at this price, and we're giving you a year's membership. Why? Because I don't want anybody to have an excuse not to do this. Seriously. I want you to do this training because it's going to help you help yourself, and it's going to help you help your family. And when you do sacred activations on yourself, it helps everyone around you. Everyone around you starts changing how they treat you and how they treat each other. No joke. So this is what this is about, is changing your life and taking charge. So you get, in this first level training, you get 30 golden seals, which will allow you to do 30 of the different activations, which will work on your inner child, your family stuff, and your sacred geometry, which will change major areas of your life. So that's what this is about. And you can do it online. It's going to be early. If you live in California, it's going to be early because it starts at noon on Saturday in Glastonbury. So, but it's incredible and amazing, and I want to put you in charge of your own healing. So again, you get the first level practitioner training. There's tons of testimonials in here from practitioners on this page. There's actually about 1,500 practitioners now, and we have teachers and everybody's scattered all around the world. And I have people that have been using sacred activation since 2012. And they still come back and do classes because it works. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. And to me, this is the most powerful, easy modality out there. Yes, the training will be recorded. If you cannot join live, you will get the replays. So no problem. And you get the replays anyways, so that you can go back through it and do it again.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that I wanted to make sure I said. So as soon as you sign up, you will be able to get the recordings from the previous class that they'll be
Yeah.
available right away. And then of course the live classes, and then video replays, lifetime access for sure. And then you also get access to the next live training as well.
Yeah.
Because
So
sometimes
right
we do
there
need
is a
to redo it.
$2,500. Yeah, right there's a $2,500 value right there. And then you get access to 200 activations on the website in the dashboard. So even if you look at those at $25 each was how they used to be priced. So I mean, what's that? I don't even know what that is. $4,500, something like that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, and it is a lot. And you know, wait, there's more. But this is going to shift you so much. And in the first layer training, I want to give you as much as possible, so if you don't continue the training, but we do have more trainings. But this is the first level. Check it out. Here's a lot of the activations that you'll get in this training. You know, are you a martyr? Addiction redirection, anger and resentment, soulmate, seed of life, cast system money. you know, caste system family, make your ego your amigo, planetary alignment, you know, universal life grid, inner child. I mean, all of this is going to shift you in so many different ways. It took me over a year and a half to get all these activations. Now, some of these activations came later, but we wanted to strengthen the first level training to give you as much as possible. So a lot of these activations I didn't get until last year, the year before, or something like that. They're in this package. But you'll learn to work on others. It's a one-on-one at this level. You can't do multiples at this level because the more people you do, the more powerful it gets. You have to wait until the master training to do that. But this is definitely for one-on-one, and you'll see huge shifts in yourself and your clients. And again, people around you.
And of course, there's a payment plan available as well for you if you require that. There's information here about the training in Glastonbury if you wanted to actually go to Glastonbury as well. So you can look at that, but it is available online as well as in person. If you're an Inner Circle member, of course, you know, please do use your gift code as well. And of course, if you have any questions about it, let us know. Be happy to give you some information, okay? So one of the things, you know, I mean, for those of you who've known me for a long time, I've been using sacred activations in groups, you know, for a long time, for years. And then because I was busy with my husband for a couple of years now, I haven't been doing live calls with just the sacred activations. But whenever I do a healing call like we did yesterday, I always include sacred activations energies in with everything else that I'm doing. So it is a foundational part of what I do as well on a regular basis. But I'm thinking maybe now that I have a little bit more time, I might go back to doing healing calls with just the sacred activations again, because they were so powerful. So we'll see about that. Will the training be recorded? Yes, Rebecca, definitely. Is it recommended to space the activations? Yeah, so you know, like if you were getting some activations today, you know, they're going to be powerful, right? Of course. And then, you know, I would wait at least a week or two and then do some more for sure, right? It just depends on your own body and your own system, how you react to it, right?
Yeah, and they'll stop running when you've had enough too. They are intelligent.
Yeah. Catherine, did you have a question about the program? Go ahead, unmute yourself.
I want to kind of give you a testimonial. I just said to you that I did these codes last night before bed. Well, while we were on that 3-minute potty break, I checked my text and I got a text for a soul contract reading, which is what I do. So I just got another client, which they've been putting in. So there's a testimonial for you. And I'm going to be all over this training. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very
awesome.
cool.
That's great, Catherine. Thank you for sharing that.
That's awesome.
Awesome. All right. Any other questions before we get into the activations? I think we're good, right?
Yeah, let's run some activations. Somebody asked for the polar opposite activation. Who in the heck was that? How do they know about the polar opposite activation?
I don't remember where I saw it, but they asked for that. It's like, okay. I said, all right, I'll mention it because it's powerful.
Oh yeah. The polar opposite activation. Okay, I'm going to run 2 activations. What did you do for the 3 activations? I'll do something different.
I think it's just the Moses, the Christ consciousness, and the Lord Metatron.
Okay. So I'm just thinking with the polar opposite, holy cow. Sorry, I can't even think. What else should we do?
I think Leonard puts them in the chat. I'm trying to see if I can find them.
Yeah, Leonard's always such a great help. He's
Fear of
always
change,
suggesting
fear
to
of moving
practitioners
forward.
what to do. He's so good. How about fear of the future?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be silent while I'm doing this. So I'm going to run fear of the future. So just think about things that you want to do that you're afraid to do. And then polar opposite, and I'll tell you when I'm running the polar opposite. You know how you have those thoughts that run in the back of your head? constantly, it's a tape recorder over and over and over again. That's what the polar opposite's going to erase. We want you to think about the thought that keeps running. And when you can't think about it anymore, think about another one while I'm running the energy, because it's going to erase those neuron lines. Because those neuron lines start out like a stream and they end up being like a river. So it's like a little trickle of a thought, and then it just keeps building and building and building, right? So we're going to clear that river of that thought, and then we're going to bring in a new stream. But we're going to erase that. It really works. And it just blows me away on what it does. And it's going to make your head hurt, most likely. Just letting you know. Okay. So just all you have to do is relax. That's it. So fear of the future. Okay, so think about that thought that is constantly running in the back of your mind. Okay, bring your energy into Mother Earth. And then open your eyes when you're ready. Can't hear you.
I don't feel like opening my eyes. But I definitely felt those activations running. And you know, when you said the piece about think about one thing until you can't think of it anymore, that happened. I forgot what it was that I was thinking about. It's like, what? It's like totally gone, you know. So it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Brain fart, yes, definitely. It's Linda said that was so powerful and amazing. I felt everything. So hot and uncomfortable. Yeah, it can be uncomfortable sometimes for sure. But keep
And you
breathing,
guys,
right? And
you can
go
do
ahead.
this too. Do you understand? You can also do this. This is what this is about.
And you don't have to be intuitive to do this either. The intuition will come for sure, but you don't have to be to start. Okay. Exhausted. Yeah, that's my friend felt a release. Nice. I feel assured. Okay.
Perfect.
Yes, even though I wrote down the thoughts, I can no longer think them. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. That's what this is
I,
all about, you guys.
I feel loopy, but feels good, dreamlike. Karen, this is definitely something that the polar opposites one is definitely something that you want to run for sure. I went to about 4 different negative beliefs during the last process. Yes. And, you know, and that's the thing. It's like for those of us who are in our heads a lot, you know, that polar opposites one is really good. And Rebecca says, I felt it. I really felt it in my solar plexus and head. I definitely felt it in my head, just the whole energy. I didn't feel pain, but a lot of pressure on C7 during polar opposites. Awesome. Yeah, and you know, this is it's still it's still working on you, right? So like Tamra says, it can sometimes take 3 weeks to integrate, right? So just be aware of that too, that it's still working on you. The activations are still working. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel relieved, slight pressure in the head. Yeah, totally normal. Strange, but did not feel anything. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. You don't
You don't
have to
have to
feel
feel
it.
it. I had a lady that came here. I was in England and I had the special to get like 5 hours of me for a certain price or something like that in 10 sessions. So she flew over to England and we spent some time together and she's like, I don't know what you do. I don't really feel anything. Yeah, okay. No problem. She ended up going through all my trainings and I just heard from her through my assistant. She's coming to join me for this training. So, and I could see in the trainings how her body was shifting and moving in the energy after she started doing them. And at first, like, I don't even know what you do. And then the next thing I know, she's doing, I'm like, okay, you know, and the next thing I know, she's doing my trainings. And then she ended up going through all of them I had available at the time. And then now
Yeah.
she's coming to England because she wants to be in the energy. You don't have to feel anything. It's okay. Good. You know, I don't
Yeah.
want you to feel anything. I don't want you to go into any trauma or big detox. You know what I mean? I just want your life to be better. And that's what's going to happen with us. It's just going to keep getting better. But I do warn you that you might be a little overwhelmed at first because I want you to be aware of it so you don't get freaked out if that happens too. Doesn't mean it's going to.
Mhm. Some people do get really tired after some activations. You know, some people worry about, oh my goodness, this is happening and that is happening and things are changing. And like, change is, again, at the beginning, change is not always comfortable. It can be quite uncomfortable, but go with it. Go with the flow. Trust, stay in your heart, stay out of your head the best you can, right? And things do get better.
Honey,
Things do
I
get
don't need
better.
to see if your center's closed. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the energy. That's what it was all about.
Yeah.
It'll take care of it. Nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Kathy says, wow, this was powerful. I felt a release. I did feel it in my head. Tired. I did not want to open my eyes. Yeah, like each person is going to experience it differently. So some people do feel it, some people don't. Some people feel it in the head, some people feel it in the solar plexus, stomach, somewhere else, or not, right? So it's not about the feeling, even the perceiving. It's about allowing the change to happen.
Yes.
Just be willing to
absolutely.
allow the change. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what we did with these two activations, was change. Okay. So don't get it in your head about did it work, did it not work. It works regardless of whether you feel it or whether you believe in it. It's still working. So start to see how your life changes moving forward. Start to see how your thoughts change moving forward, right? So be aware of the change. Focus on the change, not on what's the same. Okay. Any questions anybody has about the program, about the modality? If some of you are wanting to go to Glastonbury for it, of course, the information is there on the page. You can look at that, but you can always do it online. I did all mine online, right? So I did all mine online, and it's
This
quite
is the
convenient.
first in-person practitioner training I'm offering. I always do it online. I wanted to come to Glastonbury, so here I am. I just did it in live in person in Japan, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I was in Japan for 2 weeks teaching. So I didn't get to see much because I was teaching, but I want to go back and make sure I give myself time to explore.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, if anybody has any questions about the program, of course, you can always contact me, because like I said, I am a master practitioner, and I use the sacred activations regularly in everything that I do, right? And for me, it's quite transformational. It's very easy to do, because when I first started, I was not intuitive at all, to be honest, right? So I was doing everything mechanically, right? But now, I mean, everybody knows my intuition is like, I'm always channeling. Like when I do my healing calls, it's all channeled. I never know ahead of time what I'm going to do, and
Sounds like me.
just go with the flow and just allow. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna, whatever comes through for people. That's what, and that's the thing. If you are the healer, or if you want to help people, it is always about, you know, uh, what can I offer this person in front of me? What do they need? And I just ask out of the universe, what does this person need? Please bring that through. Right? That's it.
Yep.
There's
Thank
not
you.
much more with that, right? Cindy said, I would love to be there in person, but online will be more practical for me. Yeah,
Of
absolutely.
course.
And so,
That's why I
Cindy,
teach online. So you can be
yeah,
anywhere in the world and do this.
yeah. And Cindy, you will really like this, for sure. And you are already intuitive, and you're already a healer for sure, but you will like this too. It's very easy to do. And you can also use these sacred activations for spaces as well. Right? I know we didn't talk about that, but
Oh, yeah.
it's going to raise the vibration of the space as well, right? So your own
Car,
vibration,
dog, house, whatever.
yeah, right, whatever,
Tree.
everything, right? So it's going to help with your real estate business as well. Okay. Well, hi, Torgen. Welcome. I didn't see who all was here, but glad you're here as well. All right. Anything else you wanted to add? I think people have
No,
had
love
time
you
to
guys.
integrate.
Thank you so much for joining the call. Really appreciate being here with you, sweetheart. And everybody that's showing up. I feel very honored that you're all here, especially at a special time. This isn't your normal meeting time. So thank you so much for getting up early and being here. and staying on the call and letting me go blah, blah, blah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tamra. This was wonderful to have you back with us. And
Thank you.
yeah, I highly recommend this program for you all, for yourself. Even if you're not a healer, do it for yourself, and that will help change your life. Okay. So thank you everybody for all your questions as well. I
Bye.
really appreciate all the questions, and wouldn't have been able to make them. Well, I'm glad you could make it now. Or so
All right. Bye,
please do check
everybody.
out. Bye, Tamra. Thank you. So everyone, please do check
welcome.
out the special offer page. If you have any questions, let me know. And so until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all so much love and blessings always. Have a great
Thank
weekend,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.